The more I try to stay away from spoilers, you guys, the more spoilers keep finding me. At this point, I've accepted that I have no choice but to share what I've come across with you. Now, before we start, I need to be very clear. There are two different spoiler narratives going around right now. The first spoiler, I don't know the original source of. I can't verify where it came from, but I will say this, it sounds juicy, dramatic, and honestly, almost unbelievable. The second set of spoilers has two details totally different from what we heard initially, but it is also claimed to have come from Chinese netizens. So please take everything in this video with a grain of salt. None of this is confirmed until we actually watch episodes 11 and 12. These are rumors, not facts. Hi everyone, it's Funnel Pop. If you enjoy deep dive analysis and drama-free speculation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Alright. This is what they're saying happened. According to this first spoiler, in episodes 11 and 12, Minisu goes back on her word about staying away from Subin and starts pursuing him again, staying true to her feelings after a conversation with Sung-hun. This is supposedly why the show never aired Minisu's conversation with Sung-hun. Minisu and Subin talk again, things turn flirty, and Heesun notices. She goes back to her room and cries, questioning whether she's truly Subin's number one or just his second choice. At that moment, while still holding the napkin she was using to wipe her tears, Sung-hun came in to comfort her, making her smile again. He expresses more interest in her, telling her about meeting up in the United States and comes across as very genuine, especially after realizing how much they had in common during their paradise date. According to this rumor, Sung-hun loses romantic interest in Minisu completely at this point. He must have felt a spark or something more during his date with Heesun. It just seems there's a lot the edits hide from us. Anyway, in the finale, the ladies stand in their respective spots and the men will get up one at a time to stand in front of their final choices. Then the ladies will decide and declare who they want to form a couple with. Minisu is stood the furthest away from the men, with Heesun standing closer to her. Sung-hun is the second to last man to step forward, and he stands in front of Heesun, genuinely choosing her. The panelists are reportedly shocked, because up until now, Sung-hun had always seemed to have Minisu as his number one. Minisu sees this and clearly looks bothered. Subin is the final man to walk forward. He stands in front of Heesun, causing Minisu to tear up slightly, though she tries to hide it. Subin thanks Heesun for always supporting him in Inferno, and the panelists begin commenting that this must mean Minisu ends up alone, especially given her indecision throughout the season. By this point, Minisu is already crying. As Subin finishes speaking, he suddenly starts walking toward Minisu. The panelists are shocked again, because they were convinced Heesun was his final choice. Subin stops in front of Minisu. She begins crying a lot more. He smiles and talks about how he finds her jealousy cute, reminding her of the time she told him, "We can explore other options, but I hope you'll choose me in the end." Which is why he's choosing her. Minisu breaks down, apologizes for her actions, and according to this rumor, they become the final couple. Now, the second set of rumors tells a very different story. This version is the one that's been circulating heavily on Chinese platforms, especially on Red Note, and it's the same narrative being repeated across multiple posts, which is why some people think it carries more weight. According to these spoilers, the final couples are Goen and Hyun-woo, Ju-young and Jae-jin, Heesun and Subin, and Minji and Sung-il. In this version of events, Minisu does not end up with anyone. What's being said is that Minisu remains emotionally conflicted right up until the end. While she may still have lingering feelings for Subin, he ultimately chooses Heesun, not Minisu. At the same time, Sung-il chooses Minji, which completely closes off Minisu's remaining options and leaves her standing alone during the final selection. This is why people are describing her ending as shocking if this is true. They said if this happens, it's because she had too many unresolved connections. One of the reasons this version is gaining traction is because of consistency. Multiple Chinese netizens are sharing the same final couple lineup, and similar China origin spoilers in past seasons have often turned out to be surprisingly accurate. That being said, even these sources admit that production may have prepared multiple endings or shaped the story differently through editing, which means nothing is truly confirmed until episodes 11 and 12 actually air. So now we're left with two completely different spoiler narratives. One claims Minisu and Subin end up together after a dramatic reversal, while the other says Subin chooses Heesun, Minisu is left without a match, and 4 other couples leave the island together. Same cast, same season, but wildly different endings. At this point, the real question isn't which spoiler is true, but how much production may have edited, hidden, or reshaped the story to protect the finale. Personally, I think that Minisu does make a choice in the finale. If you look closely at the screen and the on-screen text, the words shown aren't the usual generic labels showing Woman 1 or Woman 2. Her name clearly appears in the subtitle. In this case, it shows Minisu's name, followed by the line, "The person I would like to leave Inferno with is." That strongly suggests she did make a final decision and that she had someone she was partnered with by the end of the show. Now, who that person is, we still don't know. But this detail alone makes it hard for me to believe she leaves completely unmatched. Could this also align with the analytics and viewing patterns we've been seeing? Possibly. It doesn't confirm everything, but it does support the idea that her storyline wasn't left unresolved. That's what I noticed and wanted to share as additional information. And honestly, this is why I'm not fully buying just one spoiler narrative yet. When there are this many contradictions, missing scenes, and editing choices that don't quite add up, it tells me production is deliberately keeping something hidden. Whether that means a surprise pairing, a last-minute switch, or just clever editing, we won't really know until the finale airs. Until we watch the final episodes, everything remains rumor, and this season might still be setting us up for its biggest shock yet. So now I'm curious. Which version do you believe? Do you think Go-eun will really choose Hyun-woo over Lee Ji-yeon and Sung-min? It seems Hyun-woo expressed himself a lot, including his frustrations in episode 11, that probably got through to Go-eun's heart. What of Minisu? Do you think Minisu actually made a final choice, or do you think the China origin spoilers are right and she ends up without a match? And if she did choose someone, who do you think it was? And Heesun, do you think she will end up choosing Sung-hun? These spoilers are driving me nuts, so I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Drop your theories and predictions in the comments. Thanks for watching. If this video got you thinking, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.